Unicorns Talk is a weekly podcast where we discuss the ups and downs of the human experience, from personal growth to romantic relationships and everything in between. This show is for life livers, life lovers, and life enhancers. My name is Latrice Sampson Richards, your life enhancement coach, and together we're going to laugh, love, and learn to maneuver all of life's little messes. Let's go. It's Latrice Sampson Richards here, your life enhancement coach, and welcome to episode 5 of Unicorns Talk. I'm so excited to be here with y'all today, this week. Listen, my life is going crazy right now. I am moving this week, and actually today, I'm moving today, and things are just crazy. My house looks a mess, and I just really been trying to get things packed up and moved and stuff, and I hate moving, y'all. So anybody out there who has moved or is on the about to move or whatever, you already know my pain. But I really did not want to miss out on talking to y'all today, and thank you so much for tuning in and giving me a little bit of your time today. So I have a really exciting show lined up for y'all today, and I'm really pleased with the direction that everything is going in. Big announcement. Unicorns Talk podcast is now available on SoundCloud, which it was already on SoundCloud, y'all know that, but also now on iTunes, yay, as well as Stitcher and TuneIn. So I'm super excited about that. I'm going to be posting on my Facebook and Instagram pages all of the links. Make sure you subscribe to the show, please. If you like what you hear, if you feel like, that girl kind of cool or whatever, I like her, then make sure you subscribe to the show. Once again, it's on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, and TuneIn, and I'm working on getting it on Google Play, y'all. I just need to get this moving truck loaded first, and so I can get to my destination, because I am tired. I am definitely tired. So, but yeah, that's big and exciting, and I'm really excited about that. So thank you to everybody who, is supporting me and just tuning in and watching me grow. I'm really looking forward to continuing to grow. If you like what you hear, share it, please. Let somebody know. And we just gonna keep rolling. All right. So today's topic, we're going to be talking about co-parenting, and I'm really actually excited about this topic because I posted on Facebook last week just a general poll question, let's talk about co-parenting, and I got like 60 something responses, and I was surprised by that. I'm not even gonna lie. So co-parenting obviously is a very hot topic, and it's something that most of us are dealing with, even if you don't have kids. If you're dating somebody who has kids, or if you're looking to have kids in the future, co-parenting is a thing, and you have to think about how you're going to make that happen. So definitely have some tips. We're going to have a little conversation today about co-parenting, and then I have some tips to help you to be able to co-parent as effectively as possible. Because it's important, it's important to be able to do that. And then also today's feature, I'm going to be doing a movie review. I tried to wait as long as I could, y'all, but I still wanted it to be relevant, you know what I'm saying? So for those of you who have not seen the movie yet, Girls Trip, which I don't see how anybody could have not seen this movie yet. I tried to wait as long as I could because I didn't want to spoil, spoiler alert. How do you say that? I don't want to mess it up for nobody. So I waited as long as I could, but I'm going to give you my thoughts on the movie Girls Trip, which I did love the movie. I'm not even going to lie. And, we'll talk about why I enjoyed it. Okay. So that's what we got going on for today's show. So let's go ahead and get started. So like I said earlier, I posted posted on Facebook about co-parenting, just asking people about their experiences. And what made me do that was last week I actually got 2 phone calls from 2 different friends of mine who were having some issues with co-parenting. And that was very interesting to me. And it just kind of, put it on my mind. And I was thinking, because it was so random, like these 2 people don't even know each other, but they know me. These are my friends too. Actually pretty close friends of mine, and they were both dealing with co-parenting issues. And so it just kind of put it on my mind, and I was like, that might be a good topic. Let me see what, other people have to say about it. And the responses that I got were, just really, really dynamic. I mean, people, y'all dealing with some stuff out there, and I understand it. I definitely understand it. Co-parenting is hard. Co-parenting is difficult, especially when the 2 people who are participating in the co-parenting are not on the same page. That can make for a very difficult experience. So I want to start off just by kind of doing a really brief overview on what co-parenting is for those of us who don't know, or for those of us who think we know. I just want to make sure that we're on the same page. When I talk about co-parenting, I'm talking about 2 or more people raising children together. So whether that means you're in a relationship or used to be in a relationship, in a situationship, however you want to call it, dating someone with kids, even though those kids are not your own, or, dealing with the child that doesn't live in the house. I mean, these are all different situations, but there are some commonalities across co-parenting. So when I talk about co-parenting, I am talking about 2 or more individuals raising a child or children together, co-parenting. All right. And let's be clear, whether or not that person is active in the child's life does not take them out of the co-parenting equation. And what I mean by that is that even if someone is not physically present in a child's life, they're still participating in your parenting, whether you realize it or not. Maybe even more so than somebody who is there. Because if you ask anyone, well, I'm not going to say anyone. This is definitely a blanket overgeneralization here. But most of the clients that I have worked with, most of the people that I have spoken with about, growing up without a father in the home, it's not something that I can say I understand directly, because my father was in the home. My parents are still married, and my daddy at home right now. But some people did not grow up. A lot of people did not grow up with one or more of their parents in the home. And in my experience through my work and through, just research and discovery, talking to people and just kind of talking to my friends and other family members and things like that, that absent parent still participated in their upbringing, whether it was trying to be, the exact opposite of that person, or running away from the legacy of that person, or, creating this ideal, or this idea rather of what kind of parent that person would have been. And, just feeling like they missed out on that, sometimes romanticizing who that person is, or even demonizing who that person is in their absence, So it's absolutely normal for all of these things to occur. But it would be naive of you to believe that just because the person that you had a child with is not physically present in your child's life means that they're not participating in this parenting experience. They are definitely participating in the parenting experience, whether they are there physically or not. Okay. One of the things that just really kind of stood out to me, or really what kind of came to me as a result of all of the responses that I got, is that this topic is a really huge topic. And so I don't think there's any way that I can be able to cover everything, in one show. It's just too much. So, I'm probably going to, do a follow-up episode or something like that. And, that way we'll kind of hopefully be able to touch on a little bit of everything. But today I'm talking about just kind of laying the ground rules. What are like the basic things that you need to have or that need to exist, you need to remember in order for effective co-parenting to take place, okay? Now, please keep in mind that I am very well aware that all situations are different. Every situation is different. So you may hear some blanket generalizations here, but that doesn't mean that I'm oblivious to the outliers or like the situations that don't fit neatly into this little box. This is just to give you a overview, and like I said, it's the rabbit hole is so deep, and so there's a lot of different directions that this conversation can go in, and we will go in those directions, but you just got to give me time. We ain't going to do all of that in today's episode. Okay? So don't be sending me no nasty grams. I really don't want it. But there you go. All right. So I came up with a list of about 4 things that are, I think, just like the basic ground rules for co-parenting, for effective co-parenting. And I'm going to go over those really quickly, and, hopefully you can see yourself in these, or even, see your co-parenting situation in these and make some adjustments where they need to be made. The first piece, foundational piece, I think, is that you have to heal yourself, all right? And what I mean by that is that a lot of times when there's a breakup or when a relationship doesn't work out, or if there's tension within the relationship, there comes with that emotional baggage. And so you have to handle that emotional baggage with care. So what do I mean by emotional baggage? I'm talking about anger, because it didn't work out, or anger because, it's not what you thought it was going to be, or anger about whatever was done within that relationship. I'm talking about the hurt that the anger probably is trying to mask. I'm talking about embarrassment, rejection, feelings of abandonment, fear, all of that emotional baggage that can make it extremely difficult for you to be logical in co-parenting. And co-parenting, parenting period, requires logic. But it's extremely difficult to be logical when you're in an emotional state. Those two things are like oil and water. They don't like each other. They don't always want to work together. Your emotional being and your logical being, they're like, they're not really checking for each other. Okay? If you don't manage those emotions and keep that emotional being in check appropriately, then you're going to end up taking it out on your child. Either that's directly or indirectly. Directly meaning, abuse, or, whether that's verbal or physical abuse, or just, neglecting the child, or just, not being there for the child. And we see it all the time where, oh, you look just like your daddy. And then you treat the child like you treat their daddy, or vice versa. It could be the mama, so, or indirectly in the sense of you so much trying to hurt the other person, the other parent, that you're actually hurting the child, right? So you may not be directly trying to hurt your child, but you are directly trying to hurt their parent, which inadvertently hurts them. So it hurts the child, like refusing to let your child see a parent, like see their other parent, because especially when the other parent wants to be in their life, it hurts the child because it denies them the opportunity to really experience that parent. And they deserve to be able to experience that parent, especially when it's a parent that wants to participate in their life. Maybe they're not paying child support, or maybe they don't want you, but they do want their child. That's not fair for you to hurt your child by refusing them that connection, especially when the connection is available to them. The other thing is, refusing that child that relationship also hurts your relationship with the child, because they may not understand it now, depending on how young they are. But one day they are going to understand that you are the reason that they missed out on those experiences. And that's a sad day indeed. I work with people all the time who have mama issues or daddy issues because they became an adult, or maybe like they became a parent themselves, and they now understand relationships differently. And they understand that their custodial parent made it extremely difficult for them to be able to see the non-custodial parent. And they resent their parent for that, because they feel like they took away a part of them. They took away their option to have that relationship. And it's not fair. All right. So you have to make sure that you keep that emotional baggage in check, and handle it as appropriately as possible. And we're going to talk about feelings in a later episode, but you have to not, I'm not advocating for you to ignore those feelings or suppress those feelings, but acknowledge them, but don't allow them to control you. All right. Okay. All right. The second ground rule is get over yourself. And I know that sounds really harsh, but you have to put the needs of your child or your children before yourself. When I talk about that, I'm not talking about, again, suppressing your emotions or anything like that. You have to deal with those emotions, and you have to allow yourself to heal, but not at the expense of your child. When you are making decisions that will affect your child, when you're making parenting decisions, you have to make those decisions based on the actual benefit of the child, not based on your own wants or needs. Somebody has to be willing and able to put the needs of the child ahead of their own. Okay? And that means understanding that the person that you had the child with may be a horrible spouse. They might be a horrible partner, but they could also be a great parent. And it's not fair for you to put your own needs in front of the child's and say, well, I was slighted by you. I was hurt by you. You're a horrible, horrible, husband. You're a horrible wife. You're a horrible girlfriend, a horrible partner. And so you must be a horrible parent as well. Because that's not always the case. Get over yourself. Give your child an opportunity to make their own decisions. Okay? The third foundation, I think, or foundational piece, is to prioritize communication. I am a very big fan of effective communication. I think that communication is, by and large, the most important tool that you have in parenting, period, in life, to be honest. I'm a very big advocate of effective communication. But specifically here, as we talk about co-parenting, communication is at the very top of the list, all right? But it's going to require the most basic level of civility on the part of both of the parents. So what that means is that you have to be able to communicate with the other person. You have to be able to get over yourself, and you have to be able to heal yourself in order to really prioritize that communication, all right? When there is an opportunity for communication, you need to communicate everything. I always tell my clients, when it comes to communication, assume nothing. Assume nothing. It doesn't matter how long you've been with that person. Oh, I know him so well. Oh, I know how like the back of my hand. That doesn't matter. Assume nothing. Communicate everything. Well, he should have known that, that the thing was at such and such time. How he was going to know that? You can't assume that he just knows that. Communicate everything. If you take the approach of communicating everything, then there's never a point in time when the understanding is not mutual. All right. And that is the goal of effective communication, is mutual understanding. We need to have the same understanding about what this situation is, how we're going to handle this situation, what are the possible outcomes of this situation, are we willing to take those risks? What needs to happen in order to make this happen? You get what I'm saying? Like, we need to be on the same on the same page. There are some situations where, effective communication is not possible. Like if it's a very toxic relationship, meaning, everybody has that one relationship that every time you see each other, it's just an argument. And that's a very toxic situation, and no good can really come of that. In those situations, I don't advocate for direct communication, but I do still advocate for communication. There are other ways to be able to communicate with that person that does not require a face-to-face or voice-to-voice communication. I think this is one of the few times that I actually would advocate for allowing the courts to handle it. The court system is such that you can actually co-parent with somebody and never necessarily have to have contact with that person. I do not advocate for that, but I do understand that there are some cases where that needs to happen. Okay? If it's a toxic relationship and the relationship is so toxic that you all cannot put your differences to the side in order to communicate effectively for the child, communicate through a liaison. Allow the court or a mediator to act as a liaison to ensure that the communication takes place, because it has to come first. It has to happen. You have to be able to communicate with each other in order to co-parent. Okay? And that kind of leads me into the fourth part, or the fourth foundation of effective co-parenting, which is respect. So I think that respect is actually inherent in effective communication. It's a major part of effective communication. You have to be able to respect each other as a parent first, meaning that you may not be able to respect them as an individual depending on your experience with them, and that's all right. That's okay. You don't necessarily have to say, oh, he's a great person, because maybe your experience with them was not great. But you do have to respect them as a parent, because they are the parent of your child. Okay? You also have to respect the parenting process. Listen, your primary job as a parent is to develop your child into a competent adult human being. Take it seriously. Respect that process and do what needs to be done for your child to grow up and be competent in the world, so the rest of us don't have to deal with their incompetent ass. Okay? You need to respect your child and honor their life's purpose by creating that environment for them to thrive in, emotionally and on their own accord. Let them live their lives. Children are a lot more resilient than we give them credit for. Your job is not to shield them from all of the hurts and pains that life has to offer. That's not your job. Your job is to teach them that, yes, bad things happen, but we got to find a way to keep moving and keep building a life that we can be proud of. And the best way to teach them that is to model it for them, but also to allow them to experience it and recover from it. Okay? You got to respect yourself, respecting yourself enough to not allow somebody to control your emotions. All right? Because that can lead to regret later in your life. And respect your own need for peace and sanity. Okay? So those are my 4 tips for this week for effective co-parenting. Heal yourself, get over yourself, communicate everything, and respect. Respect yourself, respect all people involved in the co-parenting process. All right? So, there's a lot more on this topic. I just don't have time to talk about all of it today. But, I'm going to do a follow up on this maybe in a couple weeks, and we'll talk some more. Maybe I'll try to get more input from y'all on it. But let me know what you think about co-parenting, or what are your co-parenting experiences. Maybe if I get a few really interesting stories that illustrate, the difficulties and the successes in co-parenting, I might try to put something together on the website. So y'all hit me up, support at LatriceSampsonRichards.com, or just go on the website and fill out a contact form, and let me know what you think. All right. Coming up next is my movie review on Girls Trip. All right, so I am really excited to talk about this movie today, y'all. I am doing my review of A Girls Trip, and I actually really enjoyed this movie. I don't really like going to movie theaters and stuff like that because it's just way too cold inside the movie theater. But certain movies, I really try to make a point to go to the theater and support those movies. And Girls Trip was one of those movies for me. The cast itself was hilarious, and it was filmed in my hometown, New Orleans, Louisiana. It's how could you not? How could you not support this movie? And so I went to see the movie with a group of my sorors, and we really enjoyed it. We took photos and everything, and it was a wonderful time. So I thought the movie was really good. One of my friends on Facebook posted after she saw the movie, and she said she didn't like it because she felt like it displayed a stereotypical view of black female relationships. And it did. And I loved it, and which is not typical for me, I guess. But I did. I love that it was somewhat stereotypical because I felt like everybody was able to see themselves in this movie. It's not, and I just want to add that the relationships that they displayed, they're not just typical of black female relationships. It's indicative of relationships overall. It was just told from the black perspective, but it's indicative of all relationships, healthy relationships anyway. And so I'm just going to give, without hopefully try not to give too many spoilers for those of you who haven't seen the movie yet. I just want to kind of touch on a few of my favorite points from the movie. So one of the first things that I really, really enjoyed about this movie is that I feel like it really does a good job of highlighting the roles that we play in our friendship circles. So everybody plays a role in the friendship circle. And it doesn't matter how big or how small the circle is, everybody has a role to play. You have to know who plays what role so that you can get the most out of your friendship. Because at the end of the day, if you're not benefiting from the connections that you have in your life, then what's the point? There's no purpose of having people in your life that don't serve you or benefit you in some way. All right? Just like they shouldn't want to have you in their life if you're not adding to them. Okay, so everybody needs to know who plays what role so that you can know how that person benefits you. All right. And what I love about this movie is that everybody knows somebody like one of these characters. Okay, I know I do. All right. Everybody knows a Ryan who's an overachiever, and she looks like, like she has it all together on the outside, but on the inside, she's struggling to keep it together. Right? That was Regina Hall's character. She has what seems to be the perfect life on the outside, but on the inside, things are falling apart. Everybody knows Queen Latifah's character, Sasha. She's extremely intelligent, but she just can't seem to get it together. She's performing way below where she actually should be, meaning that she's not living up to her potential. So she just does what she has to do in order to survive, even if it's beneath her. Everybody knows a friend like that, and you want so much more for her, but she just can't seem to get it together. Right? Everybody knows Lisa, Jada Pinkett's character, or Pinkett Smith rather. Lisa was like one of my favorite characters, I have to be honest. And she's a nurturer, and she just wants to kind of kumbaya all over everybody. Everybody knows that person. On my line, with my line sisters, we have a Lisa. okay? Who just wants everybody to get along and wants everybody to be happy and takes care of everybody. All right. And then everybody knows Adina, which is Tiffany Haddish's character. And if you don't know Adina, you need to get one in your life. Okay. Dina is the enforcer. She's that hood ass friend that nobody would ever believe that she went to college, let alone graduated from college. All right. She takes care of everybody. She's the protector. All right. She cute, but don't get it twisted. She will cut you. Everybody has Adina. Everybody knows Adina. All right. Me and my line sisters, I'm a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Okay, hey sorors. And so when we was online, we kind of started this inside joke between us, and well, not necessarily a joke, but it's funny to us, where we say, "Know your line sister." You got to know your line sister. You have to know the people that you're interacting with, know the people that you're spending time with, know what to expect from them. What role do they play? So that when they play that role, you don't have to be surprised by that. Nobody was surprised when Dina went off on old boy and broke a bottle and put it up to his neck and all of that. Nobody was surprised by that because they know who she is. That's the role that she plays in their friendship, in their circle. All right, that don't make it appropriate. Well, in that moment, I think it was appropriate, but you get what I'm saying. All right, so I really enjoy that it highlights the different roles that exist in our friendship circles and what friendship dynamics look like. And I think everybody can see themselves or see somebody that they know in each one of these characters, and I really appreciated that. The second thing that I really appreciated about this movie is that, it really showed or put on display that we can disagree about things, but that doesn't mean that we have to stop being friends. I think so many of us have unrealistic expectations about what it means to be a friend and what it means to have a real friend. You need to be able to surround yourself with people that you can be brutally honest with, and people and those who can do the same for you. All right. Everybody, so many of us walking around with these fake friends, but fake friends are not friends at all. If you cannot be authentic with the people that you spend the most time with, then you're spending time with the wrong people. Real friends should be able to pull your coattail when you are in the wrong. And especially when they know that you're going to get mad about it. I don't want people around me that can't tell me, girl, you tripping. Girl, you need to get it together. I don't want people around me that only tell me what I want to hear, because those are not real friends. You have to be able to let me know when I'm wrong, when I'm out of line, when there's something that I need to be doing better or something that I could be doing differently. It doesn't mean that I'm obligated to take your advice, but I appreciate you for at least being real enough to offer it. All right? Another thing that I really enjoyed about this movie is Tiffany Haddish. Okay, Tiffany Haddish there's no question that she's the breakout star in this movie. And I'm so proud of her. And I'm happy for her. I'm really proud of her. And I'm happy for her because she's been through a lot. I heard her story on The Breakfast Club, and this girl has been through it all, I started watching her when she was on Who Got Jokes, and that girl has worked her butt off in order to get to this place. She has paid her dues, really and truly. Some people also know her from the Carmichael Show, which I'm not a big fan of. It's all right. It's not one of my faves, but she was on that show as well. She did an interview with Jimmy Kimmel, and that video has gone viral, like super viral. Okay, it has like over 26 million views and counting, and that's just on the Jimmy Kimmel site, Facebook page. That's not even counting all the people who've duplicated it. Like, I feel proud of her because she's a testament to how using your past you can fuel your future. She started out being funny to survive, just to survive her upbringing. And she tells this story on The Breakfast Club about how it was really just a coping mechanism to help her survive foster care system and things like that. And it has propelled her into her vision and what I think is her life purpose. And listening to her talk, I think she sees it as her life purpose as well. So Tiffany Haddish definitely held her own. She was up against some heavyweights, Queen Latifah and them, they, big names or whatever in the industry. And I definitely think she held her own. And actually, I think she stole the show. So she was, one of my favorite parts of the movie as well. Okay. My absolute favorite part of the movie, though, or favorite thing about this movie, is the movement that it has rekindled amongst all women, but specifically Black women. When we were in the movie theater, there was cheering, there was clapping, there was, the crowd was really into it. And I really appreciated that, because society wants us to believe that we are alone out here and that we cannot cheer for each other. But I think that each of us secretly wants to cheer for others just as much as we want to be cheered on. And this movie, it was about four friends and, kind of rekindling that relationship. And, it was really just about how important it is to have a solid support system for yourself in life, through the ups and through the downs. And I really appreciated that. I loved hearing everybody in the movie theater all on the same page. We laughed together. Some of us cried together. I ain't cried, but some of us cried together. And I just appreciate that this movie was able to bring women of all colors, all creeds, all ethnicities together and cheer each other on. So I really appreciated that. And that was my absolute favorite thing about the movie. Besides the fact that it is funny as hell. Okay? Super, super funny. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, Girls Trip, please do yourself a favor and go see this movie 2 and 3 times. I mean, it's funny. It's definitely going to be a classic. There's no question about it. And that's all I got to say about Girls Trip. It's a good movie. I liked it. Good job. Good job, ladies. And that's all I got for y'all today's episode. Thank you so much for hanging in there with me. I really appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure you follow me on all of the social media, on Facebook and Instagram at Latrice Sampson Richards, on Twitter at LSamRichards. Check out the website, LatriceSampsonRichards.com. Like I said earlier, the podcast is now available on iTunes. I'm so excited about that. So now you can check us out on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, and TuneIn. So, talk to me. Let me know what you thought about Girls Trip. Let me know about your parenting and co-parenting experiences. If you have any questions or anything, shoot me an email, support@LatriceSampsonRichards.com, or you can go to the website and fill out a comment form. And, if there's a topic or something you want me to cover, let me know. All right? That's all I got for y'all this week. Once again, I love you. I appreciate you. And thank you so much for supporting my vision and my dream. Be well.